Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put together the Easter Truck Box SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So just to start, I've already put together the wheels, tires. You see the middle panels have already been glued on. I did that for the front lights as well, those little oval shapes. And I'm just going to finish off by putting this little bunny in the middle of the tire. So, I mean, that's optional if you want to just put something different, like a little rhinestone or a bead or something like that, or you can do that. And then we go ahead and make sure we piece together the eggs. This file can be done without the eggs. You can put anything really in the truck. I even have an optional file that doesn't have holes if you don't want a handle like it shows. So you just have to look in the zip file and it's named in there. When you're putting these pieces on for the egg, and I was running out of glue on my little glue bottle, just go kind of dry fit it first so you know where it's going to go, and just put a little bead of glue in the middle, and that gives you a little wiggle room. But just kind of know where you're going to put it first before you put it down. And there's also these optional egg panels that are included with the file if you want a different look. So that polka dot cutout, which is the size of the back egg, or the solid panel that's a little bit offset. So once I put these lights on, I'm going to put those little rhinestones over it. But we're going to go on to the truck now. So we have these two panels that are going to go onto the truck body, and we want to put them on while it's flat. And it creates the rounded look without having to do all the fancy 3D. So the box itself is squared, and we have those little tires jutting out of the bottom for support. So we're going to actually just glue these side tabs first. So you're going to line up that right edge to the tab fold on that left piece, and line it up on the top and bottom as well. I have a little wet paper towel as always to get my excess glue. And I did get a little glue on the back, be careful, but fortunately we were putting panels. It was a little heavy-handed today. So we're just going to fold these two tabs and just keep it flat. So we're just going and align that edge again to the tab fold, and then we'll put those rounded panels on. We're going to do it while it's flat, so it's just easier. It'll glue better, and you won't struggle as much as if it were already put together. So we're going to put the back and front panels only. The other panels will go on after. So these are just patterned or different color paper, whatever you want to do. You could make it the same color as the truck. So we're just going to do the back and the front, and then we'll put the rounded truck panels on. And again, we do have a solid version with solid panels for the front and back as well. Just look into the zip files. So now to put these on, you see I've flattened it down, and that will match up to the window at the top, at the side of the truck. So we'll go ahead and add glue. Not really liberally, I was a little heavy-handed, so be careful with your glue. But I'm just doing it around the window, so when I put the panel on, it'll go on and stay flat so it doesn't come apart. This is the benefit of putting together while it's flat. So just go match up the holes in the windows. So I just kind of felt in there, make sure it's lined up. And then just apply a lot of pressure to make sure it's glued together well so there's no gaps at the top and it's not coming apart. Again, this is a cheater way of doing the truck box. You know, if you're familiar with my work, I have another 3D truck box that takes a lot more time to put together. But if you just want a quickie, this is a good file to use. So we'll go ahead and do the same on the other side. We're just matching it up. And then next what we're going to do is put the wheels on, or tires. We're not going to put those on yet because it's going to help us guide where the fenders go and all that fun stuff. So we'll go ahead and glue on these the tires, and it goes into the little tire shape on the box. And with this box, it makes it a little bit more difficult to put together because I have the cutout tires on the bottom. But just be patient, it's really not that bad. And I'll walk you through it in the next step. So be careful not to make sure you're matching it with the box cutout and not gluing it to the other side because we have it flattened. So again, you could always, instead of putting a little bunny on the tires, you could put anything else really. A little dot of Nouveau or something like that. So now these only go on one way and they go on the back. So you can see how it fits, and there's a little gap around the tire. So what I would do is actually just push it a little closer to the top, kind of get an even gap, but make sure the gap in the, kind of make sure it's all even. If you don't, then it might show under the fender when you put it, the little tire fenders, tire wells, whatever you want to call them. So for this, I'm going to use foam tape to put those, but you'll see how they go. I'm not going to put it on quite yet. The reason I didn't put it on, so I'm going to go for the door now. I'll go back to the fenders. Let's start with this. So this is the front. I kind of dry fit it so you know where to put the door. So put it where it looks good to you. If you wanted to put the fender on, you could. I'm not putting it on because I have foam tape on the back, and it's going to be easier for me to put the truck together without it on. So, but if you were just going to do it flat, you could do it now. You can put both the front and back on now. But that's the reason I didn't put those on while it's flat. When it comes to anything that pops up, it's sometimes difficult to, I just didn't want it to cause any issues. I wanted to get that door in the right place. So I just didn't want it to cause any issues for me when I was putting together the box. And then we'll put the other side. So it's kind of repetitive just to show you how it goes on. Again, just kind of center it, and I would always go towards the top a little bit more than the bottom, giving it just an edge that looks good. And again, I'm going to dry fit that front tire well, and it lines up with the front panel, the curve on the front. And then I'm going to just figure out where I want that door. It just helps you place it, that's all. Or you could also place it down like I said before, and it's up to you. You could always attach that first and then the door. Oh, and I will note which embossing folder are in the notes below, so just go ahead and check the notes if you're wondering about which embossing folder I used. So there's two panels for the bottom. One has on the left is square sharp edges, and the right was rounded edges. Put the rounded one aside. That'll just be the panel that hides all the tabs. We're going to glue all the tabs on the bottom. So I'm going to start from the front. So front or back, it doesn't matter which one you start on. And so it's just showing you my process sometimes because I want to make sure I have it in the right angle to glue it on. So you want to glue it to the inside. I tend to glue non-textured to non-textured to make it easier, because it doesn't really matter. We're going to glue on a panel on the bottom at the end. So we're going to match up this edge to the inside tab fold. So you want to make sure you're really careful about this part. This is probably the most important piece. It's not going to make or break the box. It's still going to give it support down there if you're a little bit off. You can see it came off for me. Not trying to scare you, but I want to show you sometimes I have difficulty as well. So you just want to get it in the right place. Don't feel alone when you do, you know. And then I'm just going to flip it down. So all these tabs are going to glue to the bottom of this. But what I want to do first is do the opposite tab. So that just, again, these are the two things you want to be really careful about. You want to get that edge into the tab fold and get it centered and then apply pressure. Now you can't flip it over and apply pressure against the table. You have to do it with your fingers inside and out because of the tires. So I did this way because the body of the truck also supplies support for those tires, so it can hold it up without doing a bunch of 3D. So be careful here. I'm going to show you. I flip up the tab again because I didn't align the edge into the tab fold, and you can see it's now closer. So just go ahead and you can just apply pressure inside and out. Once you get these two large tabs, fold over on the side. And if you get a little glue on the bottom, not a problem. Just try not to get it on the sides because we've already worked on the sides. But once you do that, you want to get those 4 little tabs, the remaining tabs. I just think this is probably the most difficult part of it because of the way that I designed the tires on it. But it was just a way, because I don't particularly like boxes that have a boxy look on the bottom where it goes to the actual table. The actual box hits the table. I like the dimension of seeing tires and seeing no space underneath a design. So I was a little messy with the glue. If you are, again, we have another panel we're going to put on here. So that's essentially the box and what, you know, the things you can put in it or display. So we're just going to add glue. Again, I was a little heavy-handed. Be careful with your glue. We're just going to cover that area. Again, can't apply pressure against the table like you normally can with most of my designs. You're going to have to go from one side to the other, reaching in and applying pressure along the whole bottom with your hands inside and out. So I just take time. If you don't care about the tabs, obviously you don't have to put the panel on, but I think it looks better with the panel. But it's a little ripply because I put too much glue. Not many people are going to flip it over, so that's a good thing. So there's the truck. So now we have to add a couple other things here. So like I said, I have foam tape on these. Scotch foam tape is what I'm using. So I'm going to just take off the backing and add it in the right places. Now I did, as a cheater, actually put driver's side and passenger side when I cut these out on the back. So that's a good little tip when you're doing a file that has a lot of pieces and you don't want to necessarily figure it out as you go. Once you cut it out, you can always write on the back, especially if you're not going to see the back. You wouldn't write on it if you could see the back. I've done that before, and that was a big mistake. But you see the fenders will align with that back corner, back lower corner for the back one. And then the front one, is you just follow the shape on the front. So it just sits right in there and aligns with that. So I did the other side already. And then we're just going to add the front and back bumpers, which are the same size. And I just used again a foam tape, and that's the reason why I didn't add it before. So I just centered it. It's a little bit smaller than the back, but slightly smaller. Then we can add all the little details. So here's the front headlight, and we'll do the same on the other side. I just added glue to the tip of that little fender, or not fender, wheel well, I guess you want to call it. And then I'm going to center this little oval rhinestone that I have, which was the perfect size for it. I don't know where I got it, else I'd put the link below. Sometimes I lose the packaging, or I got it somewhere on sale somewhere, but anyways, cute. I'm sure a lot of you have a stash. So I'm lining it up with the shape on the front of the panel, and then adding that little rhinestone. Then I thought it would be cute to add a couple rhinestones on the back too, so you'll see that. So just kind of figure out how you want to put the egg. You can put it backwards, forwards, whatever you want to do, or not include it. It's up to you, or something else. Then I just added glue, a little bit glue at the bottom there. And if you didn't want it to show, you could have always added the egg before the panel. I show it this way because I think there's an option with this file that you could make it anything. You put anything in the back of the truck. So it's easier, but if you do it more than once, you're going to do it the way you want anyway. So that's that. I'm going to add these are like melted perler beads for the handles, and I'm using glue dots. Sometimes they're hard to get on or come off my little packaging here. So giving it a little more of a 3D feel. There was a glue dot, so it came off the bead, so I'm just going to push it. There's a little trick. If you look it up there's a way to melt perler beads to make them look like this. I didn't do it. My sister did, so she gifted me a whole bunch of them. So I'm great. I have a bunch of colors. Then I'm adding these two red rhinestones on the back for just a little fun look of, looks like back lights. Believe it or not, those are Christmas rhinestones that I got in bulk one year. So that's that. And then all I did was add a pipe cleaner through these holes. You could use a twine or a wired twine. Just make sure that the ends are not exposed so people can't cut their fingers on it, or a small child. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this project. I love it because I love green, so I hope you do too. Thanks for watching.